Sean Ray. Sean Ray.
Sean Ray here for Sean Ray TV, brought to you by our luxury men's clothing fashion designer, Leo Nietzsche. Guys, I wanted to talk to you about choosing a competition. There's lots of mystery for a lot of you guys out there in terms of where do I begin, how do I get there, how do I start? Let me give you a little bit of word of advice. The best place to start is local. Start with a local competition held nearby, with driving distance to your home. And typically if it's a first time show, go in the novice category. Novice might represent beginners to most. Back in the day, they had teenagers when I was coming up. But if you go in the novice division, at least you're competing with like-minded athletes. Some of them don't have any stage experience, but many might have years of training. And some guys might have a lot of stage experience, but no victories behind them. So they stay in this novice area, which is pretty much for beginners. However, once you win in the novice category, in the overall, then you have to graduate and go into the open category where you can compete against anybody with as much experience as an open professional bodybuilder. That being said, picking out a contest is about as important as picking out your posing music, or the type of posing trunks you're going to wear, or even the type of hairdresser that you're going to use. Make sure that you choose a show that's going to be conducive to something that's going to satisfy you. There's lots of shows out there on the market now that you can pick and choose to compete in, and no one shows up for it. So make sure that if you're going to compete, you pick one where you're going to have competition, a challenge, and also be able to build some memories. I was close to home. I competed in the Teenage Orange County because I'm from Orange County, where we're at now. And it was fun competing in front of family and friends. It motivated me, it stimulated me, because a lot of the people in the audience were from the local surroundings, from the local gyms. And it gave me encouragement to want to come back as a teenager to then move into the open category. So the next logical choice for me was the California Championships. I went from the Teenage Orange County into the California Championships, followed in the footsteps of one of my mentors, Mike Christian, came up right behind Troy Zucolato, my old training partner, Tom Touchtone, and I became a California champion, and then I watched my friends become California champions, Flex Wheeler and Chris Cormier and Dennis Newman and Rick Stevenson, and it became this fraternity of guys from the local area that actually had this title. So winning the Mr. California was a big deal here and helped put me on the map. So I could have competed anywhere, but competing in the state championships definitely helped boost my career, because the next level was going to be the national championships, where I'd be competing against guys from across the nation that had the same pedigree as I did. But I was representing the state of California, so that meant something coming out of the ranks in the NPC back in 1987. And ultimately I went to the national championships, which for me was the next level of competition. And by the grace of God, I won, and I graduated into the IFBB Pro League. But if you look back at my steps of competition, from the teenage division to the junior national level, to the national level, to the Pro League, you'll see that I selectively chose competitions that had a little bit more degree of difficulty and a lot more depth and meaning to the title. I didn't just win Mr. Orange County and jump into the national championships because I was qualified. So as an athlete, you've got to be smart, because you can get buried in these competitions. The USA's has like over 600-700 athletes. The Nationals, 600-700 athletes. The North Americas are ripe with competitors, like 1,000 competitors. Where are you gonna fit in the landscape of those shows if you just want a local contest in your neighborhood? So there's something to be said for building confidence, winning shows that you're capable of winning, and then just jumping into shows because you're qualified. There's a lot of athletes that are qualified for the Nationals that don't belong on that stage, and they don't make the top 15. It's a very expensive journey to fly to Florida, to get a hotel room for 3 or 4 days, to pay the entry fee, the tanning, the hair and the makeup, to pay your guru, your trainer, your dietitian. All of that stuff comes at a very expensive price, and after you're a couple $1,000s in, you wind up not making the top 15, which means you barely even get an acknowledgement on the stage. So my recommendation to you athletes out there, find a competition that's in alignment with your experience, whether it's stage experience or training experience. This will allow you the best opportunity to position yourself for victory. Sean Ray TV, I'm out.